I did also notice that the winning Conservative candidate didn't once say anything good about his own leader and ran a campaign entirely
is this a line to
attacking
take
the
from
Labour
Labour
Party.
HQ this evening? Peter Kyle said exactly the same thing.
No, I think it's because we're thinking along like minds, me and Peter. I haven't heard a word that Peter's saying. I've been upstairs in another part of this building.
You don't need to, they've already written down for you.
It's absolutely not the case. This is exactly how I feel, which is why would you have a Tory MP who can't even find anything nice to say about his leader and run a campaign that's not on Conservative successes, it's just attacking the Labour Party for something which actually the Conservative government has decided to make a Labour mayor do the clean air.
That's absolutely untrue and a complete lie. And you should not be saying it on air. I'm the roads minister and minister for local transport who literally oversees this policy area, and you've just made things up live on air because you're desperate to avoid the fact that this is a disastrous result for the Labour Party. You've just said that thousands of volunteers from across the country came to Uxbridge to speak up for Keir Starmer.
Yes.
Well, you can see what the result in consequence of that was.
495 margin, and I'm going to have to finish my sentence now, which is the Tories have decided to support some cities with their transition to clean air in completely different ways from others.
£6 billion
and
over 2
I
years
really
for the
think
Mayor of
it's
London.
time that you
£6
acknowledge the
billion
fact that under a cost of living crisis in which the Tories have crashed the economy...
We gave London more than anywhere else due to the massive public transport sector.
I mean, feel free to carry on.
Well, I seem to know more about the entire situation than you do.
No, you know an awful lot about shouting over me, which is really
This is not the tone that we like on this programme, Richard, I have to say. Obviously, if you want to criticise what Thangam said, you're absolutely free to do so. But can we just tone it down a little bit, please? But what about the point, Thangam, that this policy... well, Richard, in a calmer way, just explain why you think that Thangam is wrong.
Well, Thangam's wrong to try and blame the Conservative Party for the ULEZ.
cost of living crisis.
Which is exactly... No, which...
Well, Boris Johnson introduced ULEZ.
Certainly not the expansion to the boundary, he didn't. And actually, in the election in which the current Mayor of London stood on, he wasn't going to expand it to the Greater London boundary either. That was something which was changed in the last couple of years, which was backed by Labour, the Lib Dems and the Greens on the London Assembly, and only opposed by the Conservatives. That's a Labour policy choice to do what they want to do. That's anti-car policy in London. That's fully their choice. It's certainly not foisted on them by anybody else. And
I didn't say foisted. And I think it's important that we're clear here. We're all in favour of clean air, Richard, and we all want that. I want that because it's better for children's health, it's better for well-being. What we need to have is a just transition towards clean air zones, and I think that's really important that we're clear about that. Now, why were people so concerned about the ULEZ in a Tory cost of living crisis when you guys had crashed the economy, sending people's mortgages sky high and their rents, and they're struggling with high rates of food inflation? It's no wonder they were concerned about ULEZ. Right. So we've got to take that context. But the background to all of this...
I want to bring Jacqui and Andrew in for a moment. Let's calm things down a little bit, Jacqui.
I'm interested in Andrew's view about why... I mean, it's clear that ULEZ was a significant issue in Uxbridge, but Labour still should have won. Why didn't they, do you think, Andrew?
I think the pivotal mistake was on the 4th of July when Labour's candidate came out and said, actually, I'm opposed to ULEZ. I think if you go into a by-election, Labour had a narrative going into this by-election, which was everything Thangam's just said. Cost of living crisis, the economy's tanked, people's mortgages are going up, inflation's sky high, wages are falling in real terms, the NHS is in crisis, schools are underfunded, got a teacher recruitment crisis. All of those things are things that are causing Labour to have a big lead in the polls nationally. The Tories, and plus you've got Boris Johnson's scandals as well, so you've got that hanging over the whole campaign. And instead of talking about that, you've got the Tories, quite rightly, trying to divert things onto ULEZ, which has nothing to do with the parliamentary election. And Labour's candidate came out and went, actually, you've got a point there. Maybe it is about that. That's the mistake that was made, in my view. Plus, he's a councillor in Camden, where he backed ULEZ coming in. So it's a bit silly to suddenly... It doesn't look right. It didn't smell right. And if both candidates are saying, actually, ULEZ is an issue, which one are voters going to pick? The one who really means it or the one who's pretending for 2 weeks of a by-election? I think that was a mistake, tactically.
What do you think...
No, just hang on. Let's get Thangam's reaction to that, because that sounds entirely logical, what Andrew said there.
I think that what Danny did was show that he was prepared to stand up for the people of Uxbridge and South Ruislip, and he showed it by being brave enough to listen to what they were saying. But the background to all of this, and what I campaigned on when I went to Uxbridge and South Ruislip, was relentlessly about cost of living. It was about the increased mortgages, increased rents, and people struggling to make ends meet. Hillingdon Hospital came up a lot. That's despite the fact that the Tory government promised us 40 new hospitals, but they're certainly not anywhere to be seen in Hillingdon, which so badly needs that attention. I spoke to health workers who were desperately upset at the conditions in which they were trying to treat patients. This is a Conservative government that offers us no hope for the future.
Well, but tactically, Andrew's right, isn't he? That was a tactical mistake.
Well, I wish that we had been in a different position, obviously, because I would have liked Danny to be the next MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip, but it was a close result. It had a swing to Labour away from the Conservatives, and I'm hoping that will be something we can build on. But it was, Iain, it was a safe Tory seat, and it's been a safe Tory seat since forever, and I think it was always going to be a stretch for us even to give them a run for their money. The fact that we were so close is really impressive.
I think,
work.
I've seen you on the TV earlier this evening. I suspect when you walked into the first studio that you did this evening, you were expecting a Labour victory in that seat.
I didn't know because I was nowhere near any of the counts. I was hoping for Labour victory, of course.